Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. It is Monday, March 27th. Literally, I don't know what day it is. I should, though, because my sister's birthday was just a couple days ago, so at least I know whereabouts in March we are. Anyway, so good morning, everybody. Thank you, as always, for joining in. Before we get going, just as a reminder, if you have questions that we're going to kind of answer throughout our little bit of time together this morning, don't forget to put a Q, preferably with a Q with a colon would be helpful. That way I can search them. We have lots to share, lots to update you on, lots to check in with, lots of questions to answer, hopefully. So again, thank you guys for joining in. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I will tell you, the weather here in Florida was spectacular. It really, really, truly was. Now, we're going to update you with our what's brewing as to what we did kind of over the weekend, or really what we didn't do, how our weekend in the past few days played out. If you were with us last week, you probably know where we're going with this. But at any rate, I hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. Tell me what you did. I was telling Eric earlier, and when I was a kid, I kind of grew up, I don't know what you guys grew up watching, but, Little House on the Prairie, Andy Griffith, Father Knows Best, Leave It to Beaver. Those were kind of the shows. But, specifically when I think about Little House on the Prairie, kind of the time period, right? And I was like, this really kind of stemmed from the fact that I was like, I really could live the rest of my life if I didn't have to go anywhere. Like, groceries can be delivered, medication can be delivered, like food can be delivered, your meals, your pet supplies can be delivered. If there's anything you need for your home, it can be delivered, which I think is a wonderful, wonderful thing in many, many ways. But I have found that the convenience of that, where it should allow me more time to do other things that provide a better quality of life, like going, if I don't have to go to the grocery store and spend an hour plus in the grocery store, getting there, loading, coming home, unloading, all of that. If I order it online, it takes some of that time away. Maybe I could put that time to better use. And but the problem and the reality is that by all of these time-saving abilities and techniques that we have now, really all of that time just gets pushed more toward work. So I think about that, and I think about the time period of like Little House on the Prairie. I'm like, it was a harder life in the sense that you had a lot more physical labor and work and things like that. But there was more downtime, I think. And then Eric very quickly reminded me of what we're going to talk about in What's Brewing, which we'll go ahead and get to in a minute. But if I didn't say good morning to you, I see a lot of you have popped on since I said my initial good mornings. Please know that if I don't say something to you specifically, it's only because we've probably started our feed already. And I it's hard for me to multitask when I'm typing and still kind of keep you entertained. But so just real quick, I don't hope I didn't miss anybody. Rebecca, good morning. Julia, Sydney, Raymond, Rob, Rachel, Gary, Susie Q, Marcia, Diz, Deb, Nelson, and Geraint, of course. So good morning to all of you. And with that, we're going to go. Sydney says, hold on, let me see, Sydney, I'll put yours up there. Sydney says, Little House on the Prairie was one of my mom's favorite shows. Bonanza, Rifleman, The Big Valley, Wild Wild West. Yeah, my dad too. In fact, a funny story about some of those old Westerns. So my dad passed away many, many years ago. Alyssa was just about a year old, I think, when he passed away, around about then. And he was a diabetic. He was losing his eyesight. He was already in an assisted living home at the time, but his eyesight was really, really, really failing, and which was one of the reasons he needed to be in an assisted living place. And I remember that he would ask me, again, this is a different time, right? He would ask me to record on VHS, right? All of those old Westerns, because he knew them, he had watched them so many times, he could visualize them in his mind. So I would record those, and when we would go to visit, we'd drop off all those, and he had a, VCR. Yes, I know terms that some of you may not know. The VCR in his room. And then it didn't really matter what it was. He would just put one of those in, and he could still, even though he couldn't see it, he could remember it visually. So that's kind of cool. But I didn't really watch the Westerns so much. Although I do remember there was a period of time when I would watch The Lone Ranger because it came on right before I had to catch the bus. And the bus was right outside of my house. So I would sit sometimes on the sofa and watch The Lone Ranger until I saw the bus pulling up. Anyway, I digress. That wasn't where I was going with our morning conversation. Hey, Danny and Erica, you have a big week this coming up. So excited. Lots of fun stuff happening. So let's go ahead and get into what's brewing just so that we can get into, I know what is just on everyone's mind right now. So we'll go there first. Okay, so here is our topics. But before we do this, before I lose this comment, I want to put this one up. So Gary, you said Hogans Heroes. Yes. Also, I watched, was it Gomer Pyle? Was that what the name of it was called? Was Gomer Pyle? I used to watch that. Batman, Star Trek, Green Hornet. But here's the thing. I don't know if you watch, I don't know, is it TV Land or TBS? I don't know. One of them, that's what we keep on our TV kind of all night while we sleep because it runs comedies. And like I think I've mentioned before, I need noise when I sleep, but I need laughter. I don't want news or something scary or something with gunshots. I want something that's just kind of lighthearted and fun. But MASH has been on, and I think that comes on right around 7 a.m. in the morning, which is about the time I'm starting to get up. And so when I hear the MASH, was it Suicide is Painless? Is that the name of their theme song? Anyway, that's so funny. I don't know why we got onto these old things, but yes, I remember Hogans Heroes quite a bit. All right. So anyway, let's move on to our topic. So Eric's surgery. So if you were with us last week, Eric talked about the fact that he was going in for some pretty intense, pretty major dental surgery. He was here, I think it was the week before. He was actually having severe pain again in one of his teeth. And there was a period of time where he was like writhing in pain, and it's been kind of an ongoing problem and issue for him for years and years. And it was just time to make a decision. And so that's what we did. So I didn't do anything. I got him there and brought him home and made sure he was okay. He had to endure everything, but he is with us. He is standing by. So do you want me to go to you now, honey?
You can't.
Well, first of all,
the graphic first because.
First of all, okay, yeah. So here's the graphic. Yes, he gets mad. So one thing.
Don't get mad.
Yes, and I forget sometimes that he's gone to all this effort to put these lovely graphics up, and then sometimes I forget. So, but before we go to him, let me just mention. So he is still swollen, still having trouble with kind of the jaw and the movement and being able to enunciate. So he sounds very lispy at the moment. God bless him.
I didn't know that.
But he feels much better. Let me put you on. Where's your Eric podium, right?
Hi.
All right, hold on.
How you doing?
There you are.
Hey, here's my new fake face. Faith. Here's the thing. So yeah, it's. I just have to get used to this. These are temporary. These are temporary teeth, and it's just. I had 4 broken teeth, and I had the need for a bunch of crowns, and so it was going to be 20 years of problems, and so we just did this. The only disappointing thing is this was our big secondary business launch, and it was going to be Eric's Seashells by the Seashore, and that I think is going to be our biggest problem. Is that anyway? So hi, thanks for thinking about me, the people that were, and it's going fine. I just have to get used to it. It's a lot of swelling, and then these are temporary teeth, and so there's a little thing in there that's sort of blocking my tongue.
Yeah.
So I'll just be quiet now and go away. We can talk about other things. Other things.
All right.
Let's talk about other things. Bye, everyone.
Okay.
Safe travel.
Anyway, so now let's go back to what I kind of started our conversation with, which was when I was talking about the quality of life and things like that from the olden days, right? From Little House on the Prairie days. And then Eric, kind of looked over, he's like, right, but if I had, during that time, if I had any of the teeth issues or for that point, any of us, the health issues that we have, that they also had, probably even more so, right? There weren't these options available. So in those ways, I guess I am grateful for where we are and even the hustle and bustle, because of that hustle and bustle, it has provided, it's provided many services to many people, whether it is cosmetic and aesthetic or whether it is life-changing and life-altering and life-saving. It's pretty cool. But yeah, so he is still definitely getting used to it. I'll have to say, having seen him go through this entire process, I feel like he's a little bit more, I don't want to say lispy because I don't know if that's appropriate or not, but
It's okay.
well, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but a little bit more so today. But he's been saying that he's excuse me, a little bit more sore, and so all of this area being a bit more swollen.
Listen, sister.
Okay.
I'm accentuating that.
All right. Yes.
I just have to work on it. It's fine.
Yeah.
But everyone's very nice.
Yes.
Very
So
nice.
lots of people were texting and things throughout the process. So and by the way, that also affected some of our clients. So we had some clients that were in town, and so we want to make sure that everyone who may have been, inconvenienced, or if our times had to get changed for phone calls, or if I wasn't able to make it to one of our important events, I had some clients again that came in town, and things are going well, but we had to alter some things. So for anyone who was, inconvenienced by this process, we appreciate your patience and thank you for your understanding. Anyway, so that being said, I forgot my mug of the day, and I have to wipe off my lipstick. Hold on. Okay, so I'm showing you, this is my mug. I think I may have used it before, but Elizabeth, since you're here, love bug, this is my Elizabeth. She gave this mug to me a couple years ago, and I was thinking of you today, sweetheart, because I know you're heading back to Valdosta today, so I want you to drive safely, but I'm thinking of you. And speaking of daughters, we have another piece of our What's Brewing, but we'll have to get to that a little bit later. Actually, can I do that now? No, I'll do it later. Let's talk about the LIV Golf. Let's kind of go through our What's Brewing. But anyway, so Eric's surgery, he's doing well. We will keep you updated with that. As always, we like to be transparent about everything. Because that's not certainly something, well, first of all, that you could hide, but I don't know why you would want to. And it's funny because as I've been talking to a few clients that I have been speaking to over the phone, it really is amazing how many people have been able to utilize these new advances in and dental surgery and all sorts of things. So again, until you're really involved in it, sometimes it's not relevant in your life, and now it's very much relevant, and I'm very much appreciative. And so yes, Rob, you said dental service is okay down there. Yes, Eric found a wonderful surgeon, and he did a lot of research. I mean, it all kind of happened pretty quickly, like the decision to do it, because it was never really on our radar. It just honestly got to the point where his pain was too frequent, it was too intense, and he knew that it was going to be another 20 years of just constant pain and upkeep and dental issues. So it was a pretty drastic decision, but I think in the end result is going to be much better for him as soon as we can get him unswollen and unlispy. Anyway, all right. So, but yeah, Rob, we pretty good. I mean, there's some places that we would like to avoid, but at any rate, all right. So let's go back. So LIV Golf. Okay, so there is a LIV Golf tournament which is coming here to Horizon West at Orange County National. Golf course is right here in Winter Garden, right here in Horizon West. And that is going to be this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, this is just a map of, if you live in this area, or if you drive through this area, you've probably seen a lot of their signs. They are already, the signage is up, the scaffolding is up. We did one of our Sunday drives through Summer Lake Groves, and we actually mentioned it at that time because you could see that they were building the scaffolding there. They've got all the golf carts are all lined up. They've made some makeshift like tents and things like that are all around the golf course. And that's been basically developing over the past couple of weeks. But the big event, the big tournament, which I don't know a lot about the golf tournaments, but Eric said it is a little bit, they do things a little bit differently. And I don't know that that's really relevant, except that the impact of of what that additional traffic and parking might have on our area. So if you live here, you can kind of see Phil Ritson, Avalon Road. If you look at the little map that we gave you, you can see the long road there on the left. That's Avalon. That's the road we travel up and down all the time. Then the road at the bottom is Phil Ritson, and that is really the main entrance into Orange County National. But you can see where all the parking is. Looks like it's going to be back and around kind of throughout that Horizon West, Hamlin, Summer Lake Groves type of area.
And I was just going to interject that those are small roads.
Yes, exactly.
So we don't know. This is the first year for this. So we don't know if it's going to be a huge thing or...
Right.
But so our advice to everyone was...
Stay home.
Stay home. If you live here.
Yeah.
Well, go to the tournament if you like the tournament.
Is it open so you can go
you can go buy a ticket.
and watch?
Yeah, I mean, you have to buy a ticket.
Right, but I mean, you can observe it.
Yeah, we have the Bay Hill Classic every year here at Arnold Palmer's course over in Windermere. Mm-hmm. And they're used to the traffic. They have the patterns down. This is the first time, so we don't know. And this is a big deal.
Yeah, it is. And, the reason I think I won't say concerned, but the reason we're kind of like, I think we're going to kind of, make sure that we're kind of nestled in this coming weekend is because they have had other events, not necessarily golf tournaments, but other events, pro events, things like that over at the golf course periodically since we've lived here. And, you can tell when those are happening. Again, you see the big flags, you see the big tents, and then you see parking all up and down on the sides of Avalon Road. I don't know that is, what I think they're obviously trying to avoid that here for this tournament. But yeah, like Eric said, the tournament has been done before in a different course here, relatively close by. But because they had done it there year after year, they understand the traffic pattern. They understand the parking. They have it all mapped out. That's all choreographed, so to speak. So, this being the first time here at Orange County, those of us that live here, we're very excited for it. But at the same time, we're like, okay, so how's this going to affect us? So anyway, so here's a map to kind of let you know. We'll follow up with you next Monday and let you know kind of how that was. We're very excited for all the people that are very excited for that. It's if this is what you do, if this is what your passion is or your interest or just a hobby for you, I think it's going to be a wonderful opportunity to do something really big and local here. But again, there's so many unknowns with it yet, but I will tell you, they're doing a very, very good job thus far from what we can see just driving around as people that live in the community of the signage. There's signs that say Lot A, Lot B, Lot C with the arrows and pointing things. So they're doing a really good job of at least, thinking through those details, which I have to tell you, for me is a big deal because I cannot stand when there's a big event and it has not been thought through and they have not gone from the biggest detail down to the tiniest. And that probably comes from all my years of being a performer, but then having my own dance studio and putting together those big recitals toward the end of the year. And our recitals were truly shows. I mean, we tried to make them a show. It was themed. It was everything made sense with one another. And so, yeah, there was big details and little details. So far so good with them moving forward at the tournament. So again, we'll follow up with you next week and let you know how that goes. And then the last little part of our What's Brewing before we get to some of the fun stuff. This is fun stuff too. Our pros and cons. And now this is it's so funny because Eric just overheard me, or I guess I was following up with him. He went somewhere yesterday and I had a few phone calls. Again, we had to rearrange some of my work phone calls. So I had a phone call yesterday with some amazing clients that were in town. And again, super patient and understanding because I was supposed to be with them. And so we were able to still get them taken care of and get them out to some places. And so we were having a discussion basically on two specific communities that they were interested in, two specific homes, and kind of helping them, talk through them, give them some information, which by the way, is why you reach out to a realtor to begin with, right? It's not just, or at least I hope you do. I hope you understand that part of what you're looking for in a realtor is their experience and their professionalism when it comes to the mechanical aspect of the transactional part of the process for you. But hopefully it goes much, much deeper and it's someone who has knowledge of the area and that can give you some very valuable information that will help you make your decision. And I always tell people that's my goal is I want you to be able to make a thoughtful decision, to have all the information that we could possibly give you that we know and let you do with that what you may, right? Let that affect your decision or not affect your decision. And again, as realtors, we cannot steer you to or from, any builder, any community, any home, things like that. But again, you're reaching out to a realtor for information and for input. So the conversation basically went like this. They were deciding between these two communities, both of which were 55 plus. Both were, honestly, both are amazing choices. Like literally, I would have zero, and I told them, zero reservation with either of the communities. But some things to consider, just a couple of things. And these are things that I know, and when I was telling them, to me, it's just commonplace. But afterwards, when I was giving Eric the update, he's like, that's why having you matters, meaning having me matters. And it's not just me. I'm sure there are other realtors out there, but I'm like, well, don't all realtors know that? He's like, no, not all realtors know that. So for instance, one of the communities that they were interested in has a better floor plan for them, and it's quieter. It also potentially has the opportunity to increase a little bit more in property value because of those roads that'll be connecting through Claremont to Winter Garden. There is another community that is a little bit further along, well, much further along, also absolutely outstanding and beautiful. It's but the floor plan isn't quite as nice for them, like just logistically, like spatially, but they really love the community. So when we were talking through some of the elements, I said, well, one thing to consider. Again, take with the information what you want. One of the communities has a prepackaged set of design options. Those are beautiful design options. Your home will be lovely, lovely, absolutely gorgeous. But probably 10 homes on your street will have that exact same design package. However, in the other community, they did a more a la carte design center experience, even though this home is already well under construction and my clients we're not in a timeline for them to choose anything. At least the design center, or the designers themselves, when choosing those interior design fits and finishes, didn't choose from package A, B, C, or D. By the way, nothing wrong with package A, B, C, or D, but again, this is just to help them make the decision. Okay, so we have a little bit more kind of uniqueness to this one property. Over here, it's a little bit more package oriented. This one is a little bit closer to Disney, and I know that there's probably more people in that community and surrounding communities that are a little bit more short-term rental or vacation rental, and maybe many of those residents use that community as their own private vacation home, so it's not necessarily a primary residence. Whereas in the other community, your neighbors are more likely to be long-term, main, primary property type neighbors. So anyway, so we just kind of talked through, and there's a lot more that's probably not interesting to you, but it was an hour and 15-minute conversation that we had with them yesterday, just going over these little specifics between the two communities, for them to be able to go, okay, well, now that we have this additional information, let's think this through and find out which one is going to be best for us.
May I hijack the broadcast, please?
Eric is hijack. I can tell because you're standing there. When you stand there, it makes me nervous and I lose my train of thought.
That's my way of telling you that I'm ready to speak.
Okay.
No, Amy can't tell you the thing I can tell you. The reason I told her to talk to you about that was it was amazing to listen to her talk about all the pros and cons that she gave them. And I said, how do you know those things? And she says, well, I just know them. Well, that's not the point. She doesn't just know them. It's your experience and all that. And so I said, well, on Coffee Time, we should do a better job of reminding people that you're a realtor that they can call with their questions and you're helpful. If you had asked someone else, they might have had to say, well, they're good because one's in this place and this is in the other place. You were down to design options differences, and when someone's making a huge purchase like that, it's a big choice. So that's all I had to say about that. So you might remember, if you'd like to get into real estate,
okay.
Did I time that well?
You timed it well.
Thank you.
Good job.
Call Amy.
Thank you. But, and that really is, that's what we do. So this little time together that we have here on Monday mornings is a lot of fun. But, the real nitty gritty of real estate is that you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. It could be your entire life savings, or it could just be a drop in the bucket. Whatever your financial situation is, but you cannot ignore the fact that it is hundreds of thousands of dollars that you're spending. And a lot of that, you are looking for the help and the advice and the guidance of your agent. And so I do think that that's important. There's just a lot of things that I guess I know that I just assume everybody else knows. But it's funny because I'll get questions and from other people's clients that will call me, and I'm like, well, first of all, maybe you should have called me first. But anyway, yeah, I hope that conversation was helpful to them, and I'm excited to find out what they choose. And that conversation will probably happen either later today, maybe tomorrow. But at any rate, so I am going to go on to, that was it. That was the last bit of our What's Brewing, right? I get them all? I got them all. Okay, cool. All right, so then let me go to a couple of questions if there are any, because I know that we have Allie with us, and I want to make sure I get to that because I don't know how long we have with her. So let me see what we have.
Congratulations, and you can go.
Yeah, I'll do that. Let me just hit a couple of these. Rob, which dog is that little white fluffy dog? Okay, well, so because as we mentioned last week that our daughter and son-in-law, there we go, our daughter and son-in-law are in Korea this week on a very belated honeymoon. We are actually grand puppy sitting. So we have Jenny, who is their little mini golden doodle. Mm-hmm. And then Zoe is a beagle. Jenny is right here under my feet. Yeah, Jenny's right down here. She's literally under my feet right down here. So I'm not sure if you saw Maggie. Maggie is she's a little white West Highland Terrier. So I'm not really sure which one you saw, Rob, but it was either Maggie or Westy, or Eric's getting ready to pick up Jenny. And that will be good because Allie is watching and she wants to see Jenny. There's Jenny.
Hi, Jenny. Say hi to the people.
Jenny. Now all the dogs are coming. They want love too. Anyway, so that was who that doggy is. Let's see. Marsha, you asked where I got my desk chair. Oh, I guess you saw it from the first opening shot. So my desk and my desk chair both came from Haverty's Furniture.
A quick shot of the chair. There it is.
Oh, there's the chair. I think this is white. Like, this is my little blanket. Sorry, because I get cold because I'm old. Anyway, but yeah, so that matches my desk, which was from Haverty's. So if you like it, let me know. I'll send you the link to what it was. Okay. And then Kim, I heard a rumor there's going to be a new Del Webb besides Oasis and the one in Mineola. Have you heard anything? I'm not sure which one. Obviously, Del Webb is kind of a big thing. So there are multiple kind of out and about, but I'm not sure exactly which one you're talking about. I will have Eric look into it and see if we can figure out which one you're talking about. But yeah, definitely Oasis, and then definitely Mineola. That one's really kind of the big moment. Okay, so let me go to congratulations because Eric wants me to do that so I can get it.
Watching.
Okay, hold on. So there's
Allie's
Zoe.
watching.
Zoe, look.
Zoe, look up.
Oh, we gotta go this way. Yeah, go.
Hi, Zoe. Okay, goodbye.
Okay.
All right, just because Allie's watching.
Jenny and Zoe made their, okay, that was gross. Made their debut. And again, because Allie is actually watching from Korea right now, it has been very, very interesting. I'm going to go to Allie and Hung first and then head back to Barbara and Bernie. Allie and Hung are in Korea right now. They are just about a week-ish into, or not quite a week into their travels for their belated honeymoon. And they are, let me see if I can find the, here we go. So these are some pictures. They've been sending us some pictures, but they are, I think, like 13 hours ahead of us, give or take. 12 to 13. So essentially every time we wake up, they're going to bed and vice versa. So pretty much every day / night, we text each other, good morning, good night, just making sure everybody's doing okay. Of course, last night, right before I go to bed, I get the message from them, we're climbing a mountain. I'm like, what? So then of course I'm like, great. So now I'm going to go to sleep and they're going to be climbing a mountain. And like, true story, I said, well, just be safe. Cause I didn't know if they were hiking up a mountain. They're like, well, it's got stairs. I'm like, oh, okay. But then just to be funny, I was going to send one of those little gifs of somebody falling down the stairs. And I literally didn't because I was like, I don't want to like jinx it. Like I'm going to be so scared. And like if somebody falls. So, anyway, so they are, the top one. The top picture, I believe, is them on the mountain. Is that right? It's Inwang Mountain? I don't know if I said it right. I believe. Beautiful view from there. And then, of course, you see another picture over there. They are having a fantastic time. They were able to meet up with Hong's cousin, I believe, for the first bit of their trip. And she kind of guided them around and got them all situated and took them to some great places and really created a very detailed itinerary for them, which I know they're so appreciative of, to really maximize their time there so that they really, really, really get to see and do a lot. He also got to meet with, I believe, his mom's family. And they sent some pictures of this magnificent like spread. Oh my gosh, the like 2 tables worth of food. And I really can only imagine how exciting the whole visit was for them, because I mean, again, they're in Korea. They're, it's not like you just get to see them every day. And in some cases, maybe the first time and last time. So I think that's, and Hong is the last male. So a lot weighs on him. But so they're with, I think, again, his mom's family, if I'm getting this correctly. That's where they were the other day. And they're actually getting ready. There's a map here somewhere. They're getting ready to do another travel day here shortly. I don't even want to pronounce it because I will mess it up. No, that was the mountain. I already said that one. Gwangju. And that's where they're going next, I think. And then Jeju, right? Is that the last one? Okay. At any rate, so they're having a really, really, really good time. And despite them being on their belated honeymoon in Korea, she is still joining us for coffee time. So thank you, Lala. Lala, that's what we call her, is Lala. We really appreciate that. So let me see if Allie said anything about her babies. Yep, she says it's 10:30 p.m. there. So yep, that makes sense. And then there she says, oh, perfect. Excellent. Okay. So I missed a lot of things going on over here. So anyway, so that's kind of, part of what they're super excited about. We're super excited about, because I know they're having a really good time. Now, here's something else, a little side story. So this is irrelevant, but this is my life. Okay. So Eric is in surgery. It was a pretty long day. Like, we had to get there at 7, I believe. And I just planned on staying there the whole time. But then I kind of got the impression that maybe I should just sit in the waiting room for like all day. So I was like, well, I'll just go sit out in my car and, I'll go find a McDonald's, get my Diet Coke and just go sit. And I brought my computer and I was returning phone calls and, work phone calls and emails and text messages. So I was still working. I was just working out in the car. I had my computer, had my phone. I actually got a book on my Kindle, which I've not been able to read in like a long time, something that was just enjoyable for me. So I loaded up with the new book and I had so much fun. I was sitting there. I rolled the windows down and right beside me was a tree and there was a squirrel up in the tree kind of going out to the farthest branch and getting these little like seed sacks and then coming back and then like chewing it and then all the stuff would fall. And I was fascinated. I was like, God, I have not been able to sit and like just be in the moment like in a long time. So I sat there. I was like, well, this is nice. It's relaxing. So then I'm just sitting there. My windows are down. The breeze is blowing. And somebody comes outside and they came outside to smoke a cigarette. And I'm not going to get into whether or not you choose to smoke a cigarette, but I am not a fan of the cigarette smoke. So I was just going to roll my windows up, right? I'm fine. No problem. Except that my window broke. So all 3 windows, my right side and the rear went up. My driver's side broke and it was stuck down in the well of the door. And I could not get it up. And I was like, so I'm freaking out, right? So I'm like, I turn the car off. I turn it back on. I like try to push the button all the way down, all the way up. I give it a few minutes. I turn the car back off, turn it back on. Anyway, long story short, I don't have my car. It's at the dealership because it was not working. So then I had to drive my husband home after a really long surgery, which is even longer because they said you should be done at 1:15. No, they said to be done at like 12:30. I went back in at 12:15. At 1:15, they said it's going to be a couple more hours. This is a tough one. And I was like, oh. So 2 more hours. I'm panicking. So then I go to CVS. This is a true story. I know this is not interesting to you, but I'm like, how am I going to get this door up? So I'm trying to be creative, right? I'm going to like be a DIYer. So I go to CVS. I get some like rulers, some like duct tape, some masking tape, some scissors, like some pliers, anything I could think of to maybe wedge down in the window to see if I could pull it up just enough to get my fingers on it and maybe yank it up. Anyway, it didn't work, obviously. So then I had to get some plastic and I drove home with him, well, I didn't put plastic on it when we were driving home. But anyway, it was a mess and it's still a mess. So the reason I'm saying that is because now, because my daughter and son-in-law are in Korea, I said, can I borrow your car? I'm not going to go anywhere unless I have to, but there are going to be some places I have to go. So I have their car. So thank you, Allie and Hong, for letting me borrow your car for the few places that I need to go. All right. So what else was my other congratulations? Oh, the other congratulations was Barbara and Birdie. And again, so Barbara and Birdie, they're the ones that I was referencing earlier that we were supposed to meet up, and they were very kind, understanding, and accommodating because we had to kind of reroute their visit. But they were the ones that I was talking to yesterday after we've made a couple of final decisions. By the way, in the course of that, we provide itineraries for our clients anyway, if they want to explore a bit more, like whether or not they're imminently ready to buy something, if they're still in the figuring it out phase. So that was part of what they did, was they did some exploration that was kind of guided via our itinerary. So we were still assisting them through places to go, you know, that you can really maximize your visit to feel like you have a better understanding of the area. And it worked. And I told them who to meet, and I called my builders. I'm like, I got these clients are coming in town. I'm sorry, I can't be with them, blah, blah, blah. So they were very well taken care of. It's just, you know, I feel like a mama bear to my clients, and I want to be there and take care of them whenever I possibly can. And sometimes, like, Eric is going to hijack it again. Yes, sir.
I'm not hijacking. This is a good thing. This is a shout out, but it's a problem because you also couldn't attend a closing. But I can't say her first name or last name right now. Denise Burgos.
Yes.
And her husband.
That's pretty good.
Thanks. I didn't want to say the name, but I wanted to sincerely thank them for their patience, because that was happening right when
it was happening right when. And like I said, the surgery, all of that, you know, it had not been planned months and months in advance. It all happened pretty quickly, and they were able to schedule the surgery pretty quickly. So yes, it did conflict with some things. So again, my sincere gratitude for people who had to miss out on a little bit of something for us. Anyway, so moving right on along. So don't forget, any other questions, put them in there. Meanwhile, I'm going to go to, what am I going to go to? I'm going to go to Allie. I'm going to Allie.
What exactly is an earnest money deposit?
Very good question. So an earnest money deposit, basically, your earnest money deposit, just think of the word deposit and you think about the word earnest, okay? That means I have full, true intent to purchase this home, and therefore I'm putting some money down on it in advance. Now, that earnest money deposit is held in escrow. It's usually held at that mutual or that impartial third party. It's usually held at the title company. So whatever you pay is usually held right there at the title company. That's also the amount of money that is going to vary between whether or not you are purchasing a resale home or new construction. You know, the range can be quite extreme. From, let's say it's a typical resale opportunity, you know, typically 1% to 2% of that purchase price or your offer price is adequate. Excuse me, is adequate. So that's what I tell people to kind of expect if we're talking resale. Now, your earnest money deposit, when you put a larger earnest money deposit down, that can signify to a seller that you have very, very serious intent and you really, really want it. And you also have the ability to put down a lot of money on the earnest money deposit, but typically 1% to 2%-ish for a resale home, unless it is an extremely competitive situation. In those cases, again, let your realtor guide you as to what they think is going to do what it takes to get the job done if you really want the home. So earnest money deposit, again, it's your deposit. Now for the builder, it's the same thing. It's just that they require a larger deposit, and in some cases as much as 10%. Now keep in mind, if you are a cash buyer, that earnest money deposit is typically about 20% with new construction, because they're putting a little bit more down. So at any rate, just kind of keep that. Those are the amounts. But the actual earnest money deposit itself, like the definition of it, is that it's basically your intent to purchase the property. It is usually paid within 3 days, typically, of a signed contract. There was a day way back when, before I was in real estate, where the process was a little bit different. You would submit your offer and you would submit that earnest money deposit at the same time. So it would be like with a check, right? We don't really do that anymore. So now our contracts actually read that, you submit your offer and that you'd be willing to put down X amount as your earnest money deposit. That would be paid within 3 days of the signed contract, within 3 days of this accepted offer. So that's really just money that's going toward the overall purchase of your home. Now, I get this question a lot. So before I move on to something else, a lot of people don't understand that the earnest money deposit that you are paying is part of the purchase price. So let's just say, for instance, and this is a perfect example, back to my conversation yesterday with one of my clients, the builder requires 10% down. And I said, well, what if they are doing a 5% conventional loan? Can they just do the 5%? And they said, well, yes, if they're going 5% conventional, then the builder would accept the 5%. But now keep in mind that 5% now is their entire down payment for that loan. So they've already paid it up front as the earnest money deposit. If you are doing, let's say you're doing a typical 20% conventional loan and you put 10% down at the time of contract, well, then you still have the additional 10% that is due at closing. So essentially it's not extra money. You know, if you're putting down $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 as your earnest money deposit, that's not above and beyond what that purchase price is. That's going toward it, right? It's you're putting that amount down in advance. So hopefully that helps a little bit, Allie. And Allie does know lots of things. Okay, so then let me go. Eric, you said to go back to some questions. So let me do that. Go back to some questions. So we did the dog and we said good morning. We talked about the desk chair, talked about dental services.
Just put it in your queue.
I did.
Okay, cool.
I did, but I only see these two.
Rhonda at the bottom.
Yes, I see Rhonda. Good morning. Hello, Rhonda. By the way, that is a beautiful picture, and that color blue is gorgeous on you. Also my favorite color blue. So, Rhonda, you're beautiful. Good morning. With the new build community, how soon can you find out how much HOA will be? Hope all is well. Okay, so good. Very good question. So, okay, the truth is the new construction communities are supposed to have already set your homeowner association fees based on the completed community and the amenities. So it shouldn't be changing drastically. Can it change? Well, of course it can change because, you know, services can change. There's a cost, like everything can change, right? You could have, you know, bid this one company to do the community common area landscaping, and then gas prices go up so that everything changes to operate their lawnmowers and such. And so, you know, that's why your HOA are going to have these annual meetings and their budgets and things like that. And sometimes things do have to be adjusted and shifted slightly, but it should not be any type of a drastic increase. In fact, I have had some clients where the HOA fees have actually decreased slightly. So, but the answer is that when you go to a community, they should be giving you that HOA amount, and that HOA amount is supposed to be the amount that's included once the community is completed with amenities intact, so that you do have a realistic idea of what it is. So that was a really good question. Well done, pretty lady. All right, so let's see. Kim, I go through 25 pounds of peanuts a week feeding my squirrels, chipmunks, and birds. So I have to tell you, okay, so I mean, I know it was really silly, but I have not really just sat and looked up at anything in a long time. Watching those squirrels was just cracking me up. Anyway, so there is this ad. I don't know what it's called, but it keeps coming across our feed about this, like, it's almost like a Nest camera that's built into a little apparatus. What's it called?
Bird Buddy.
Bird Buddy. And I saw the ads coming up, and we love the game Wingspan in our family. Absolutely love it. Anytime, hands down, we will play a round of Wingspan. And because of that game, we are very more into.
How good am I at my job?
How good are you? This is an extra one that I happen to have bought. This is the Oceania expansion set that I bought an extra one of accidentally. So if you need that, let me know. But yeah, so we love that game Wingspan. But it has all these birds, and so it kind of got us a little bit more interested in birds, right? Because you see the pictures, you see the description, and there's like a little interesting fact about the birds. Anyway, so then this Bird Buddy ad kept coming across, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is good. So I sent it to all my kids. I'm like, we should get one of these. Like, Forrest would love one. He's got this beautiful backyard in Virginia. I could just imagine him really enjoying that. And anyway, because you could, the Nest camera is right there where the bird comes in and eats. You just get those little up close pictures. Anyway, so I sent it to Allie, and I think she had researched it. She goes, yeah, I think I heard that it was a scam, that people like never got their thing. And anyway, so I was like, oh, okay. So we had this conversation as a family, I guess in the back channel, and Eric never knew about it. And then the other day he's like, hey, I saw this thing called the Bird Buddy and I ordered one. And I'm like, well, I think it's a scam. I don't know. So I'll let you know. I hope it's not a scam, because honestly, it's a fantastic idea. It's quite brilliant, by the way. So if that one isn't real, I'm sure somebody has smartened up and made one. But I'll let you know if that actually pans out, because that seems like a really cool thing. Who's the best Wonder Woman, Linda Carter or, oh, well, it's got to be Linda Carter for me. I'm just saying, if I have to pick, it's absolutely hands down Linda Carter, because that's what I watched. So, oh yeah, LOL, the quick rendition. Yeah, I know, I talk a lot. I know I do. Okay, so speaking of that, I will stop talking and I will get us moving on to, now here's something fun. We're going to do Zillow. I have not seen the Zillow one. Eric said he hesitated for me seeing it in advance. So if you've ever watched my home tours, and we call them the what do we call them? The discovery tours. So this is like a discovery tour, but this is a discovery Zillow. Yes.
Before you hit it, so all I will say is they chose a unique marketing strategy.
It's a unique marketing strategy.
So I'd like your comments on their marketing strategy.
Okay, so Eric says this Zillow, he's seen it obviously because he produces the show. So he says it has a unique marketing strategy, so he wants our comments. Okay, here we go. Okay, well that's pretty. Where is this? Rochester, New York. All right, four bedrooms, 3 baths, 2,872, 219,000. Okay, I don't see what's so interesting yet.
Got a pool?
That does have a nice little pool. So that's interesting to see pools covered because, here in Florida, we don't have to, you save the money on the cover. Oh, hello. Is that an Easter bunny? Oh my. Wow. See, that's just, I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, I would not do this. It's interesting. Hey, they made it to,
Made it on coffee time.
They made it on coffee time. I mean, boy, you made it big. Like, really? I mean, you can't get past the rest of the house. Maybe that's the point. But it looks like a lovely house. I'd rather be focusing on the okay, we're back to the beginning. That was interesting. Okay, so what are your thoughts on that one? I don't know if I'm super happy about the Easter bunny in all of those pictures. That's kind of weird. But again, did it sell yet? I don't think it's sold yet. It's still on market. Okay. Okay. So let's see. Is there anything else? I'm just double checking because you guys are all chatting and I don't get to see any of that. So, I see it. It's just I don't have time to pay attention to it. So I just want to make sure. Yes, Marcia, that is my sentiment exactly. I don't know. I'm not really sure what they were thinking. But, kudos to those people who are trying to find a unique way to kind of market the property. I mean, I guess that is helpful. I don't know. All right, Eric, did I get everything? What I'm watching. Okay, we're going to go to what I'm watching. And I'm only trying to scoot because I have appointments later today. So let me go on to what I'm watching because this is a new one.
Yeah.
Okay, so last week I was watching The Last of Us, and I finished that. My daughter and I think I told you we were watching that. I think that only had, I don't remember how many episodes, like maybe 8 or something like that. So I finished watching that. It was quite good, so I highly recommend that one. But now I'm only on getting ready to start episode 3 of The Night Agent. This is another one that it kept coming across my Netflix thing as like coming soon. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know what it's about, but anyway, but I like it. It's good. Again, I'm only starting episode 3, I think. I don't know. But anyway, so that's pretty good. So far, so good. Again, if you have found things, whether it's been on Netflix or Hulu or Peacock or any of those other things that HBO, what do you call it? I don't know. Any of those things. Let me know because I'm I get tired of scrolling. By the time I scroll and find something, I'm too tired to watch it. But I did find this one, and so far, so good. I also am reading a book, and I don't know the name of it. So here's the thing. This is a pet peeve of mine. Do you notice, so when I was a kid, you knew exactly the name of the band and you knew what that album cover looked like. You knew the album name and you could open it up and all the lyrics to the songs were in there. And it was like you felt very connected and it's almost like it's photographic memory. Like I can remember the Rumors Fleetwood Mac album. Like I can tell you the whole thing. But some of the other stuff that's newer, I don't because you just download it or whatever. Okay, so for books, I know I can still go buy the book, but I did buy a Kindle and I bought the Kindle a new one for my New York trip because I wanted to make sure I had multiple ways to keep myself occupied for all of my anxiety for traveling. So I got a Kindle and I used it for the New York and Virginia trip that I took a while back in January. But I did add a new book, like I said. But I don't even know the name of it. I don't know. I'd have to go back through my Kindle to find out the name because it's not an actual book with a cover. And I know Allie is loving this because she is our writer, right? So she is writing a book. And The fact that I would enjoy it more if it was an actual book that I had purchased so that I could continue to see the cover. I could really have that author's name ingrained in my brain because I see it all the time, that name recognition and turning those pages and the smell of the book. But either way, I still like the book that I'm reading. I just don't know what the name of it is, so I'll have to look that up and tell you. And if you have some good book references or recommendations, let me know that too. All right, so let me go back to this. Eric, was there anything else, dear?
I was going to change your camera shot real quick.
He's changing my camera shot. Oh my gosh.
She's under your desk.
Okay.
Hi, sweetheart. Hi, Jenny.
Okay. Yes. Oh my gosh. Too funny. All right. Very, very good. Okay, my friends. I think I got to everything on my to-do list over here. I think I did. Oh, wait, there was one more thing. So, and then I promise we're going. So, you guys have been along with us for the journey of us building the pool, the screen enclosure, the lighting, all of that. The last piece of we think it's the last piece of our outdoor space is creating the summer kitchen. So we pre-plumbed our home for the summer kitchen. So this is a really good little interesting note for if you're thinking of buying or building specifically, whether or not you should pay to have the structural option of the summer kitchen. I do think it's a good idea to do it. However, like in ours, it was just put in a specific place. We did not have the builder build the summer kitchen because that wasn't an option for us, but they did pre-plumb it. But unfortunately, where they pre-plumbed it is not really conducive to the cabinet layout that we wanted. So anyway, we're going to scrap the sink part of it. We're not doing a grill in that area because there's no way to vent it. So we've had to eliminate a couple of things. But for us, that's okay because I really kind of just wanted a more counter space for like a servery type thing. But we are working on that.
Oh. It's a mess, but you can show it if you want, but you got to give me 5 seconds.
Oh, okay. Eric says I can show it to you in a minute.
Logitech camera, and you can go now.
Which camera?
Logitech.
Logitech. I don't know what that means.
Bottom right.
Bottom right, the Elgato? Oh, no, I see it. Never mind. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't look so great, dear. Anyway, so you can see the cabinets are over in that section. They're dark blue cabinets, and then the other ones are still in the box. So we went out. Those are the upper cabinets. Oh, my gosh, our backyard's a mess. I'm going to go back to this one. Anyway, how do I go back off of it? There we go. I got you. Anyway, so we're still working on that. We have the cabinets. We are going to do some tile work. We have someone coming to do some wood on the ceiling in the lanai space to kind of create that little cozier space that then opens up into the bigger pool area. So anyway, so you can follow us along that little journey as well. We have a wonderful person going to do the woodworking for us. We are probably going to try to do the cabinetry ourselves. We'll see how that pans out. The tile work, not so sure about that. We will have to figure that one out. But anyway, okay. So anything else? I think we
are doing the tile work ourselves, live on Coffee Time.
No, we're not. No, we're not. Anyway, okay. I think we are good. So if I missed anybody, I apologize. I still love you. I just must have missed it. But let me do one more final one.
All of watching. He said 2 weeks to closing.
I know, Joe, actually, yes. So Joe, I was just thinking about you. You're on my list today. Actually, I need to just touch base with you, touch base with the seller, make sure everything is prepped, reaching out to title. This is kind of my 2-week mark as well, my friend. Get you all prepped and ready for closing. Make sure we have all keys, garage door openers, amenity center, key fobs, all that jazz. I got you taken care of. That's on my list. We are just racing toward closing, my friend. I can't wait for you guys to be you're already friends now. Now you get to be friends and neighbors. So, all right. And by the way, that comment goes to all of you. So as I wrap it up here, let that be a lesson. I absolutely love it when I have my clients, they end up, moving here, close to this area. We become friends through this crazy technology that we have, but then to make you neighbors is even more rewarding. So guys, thank you so much as always for kind of watching and joining in and having a little cup of coffee with me on Monday mornings. I have some closings, or not a closing, I have a new homeowner orientation to do, phone calls to make, lots of stuff happening, but I will follow up with you next Monday. Until then, if you need me, you can always reach out 407-848-8042 anytime. Just send me a message and we will chat. We will get you taken care of. Yes, sir?
You got a question, just at the last second, I wanted to mention it. Somebody asked at the very end, how much was the pool cage?
10,000.
Yeah, it was 10,000, but it was more for the footers and all that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it ended up one of our clients got a quote for $28,000 for a screen. So
yeah, that's crazy.
10, 15.
Eric said if you didn't hear all that, because he was lispy.
Wow.
If somebody asked at the last minute how much the pool screened enclosure cost, and I think for us it was again, it was all kind of tied in. It was about 10,000, but that also included the screen and the footers that we had done around it. That being said, somebody else, one of our clients, had a quote of 28,000 for the screened enclosure, so that seems way off board for me. But at any rate, back to where we were going as we wrap this up. So as always, guys, please stay safe, stay well. Remember, we love you. Thank you for joining in. Please stay safe, stay well wherever you are. Allie, Hong, safe travels. Elizabeth, safe travels to you, and anybody else that's going to be out and about, safe travels to all of you. We love you, and we will see you guys soon. I'm trying to find my button. There it is. I found it. Bye, guys.